Here's your First Warn Weather forecast first, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
Well, things have gotten a bit active over the last hour and a half, with a few severe thunderstorm warnings now being issued across parts of north central Illinois. Couple severe thunderstorm warnings for Winnebago County, same thing for Lee County. We're going to see some of these warnings expire at the top of the hour at 5 o'clock. Some additional warnings running until 5:45. A look at what the biggest impacts will be with these current storms and when we may see some additional thunderstorms move through, along with that heavy rain threat continuing here later tonight. All of that in the First Warn forecast a little later.
Winnebago County residents share concerns local tornado sirens aren't working. The sheriff tells us what's being done to address the problem.
Plus, we have more details on that skydiving collision over Boone County, what officials know so far about the death of a 40-year-old skydiver.
And connecting skilled workers with employers, how Goodwill helps break down barriers to employment.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. We thank you for being here. Tonight, Winnebago County residents are raising concerns after learning many of the county's tornado sirens are out of service and in need of repair.
Eyewitness News reporter Blake Dietz spoke with county officials to learn more. Blake, officials say they've been working on getting the sirens operational.
Yeah, roughly 40 sirens are out of service waiting to be repaired. And that has many residents concerned about their safety when an emergency happens. Pecatonica resident Sue Schomber recently learned that the tornado sirens in around her neighborhood don't work. And following the flash flooding in Texas, she decided to find out why. She learned that the county had been working for months to repair out-of-service sirens. However, many are still waiting on those fixes. Winnebago County Sheriff Gary Caruana tells me that they're continuing to make progress.
It is a work in progress with American Signal, and I think they're doing a good job. But again, with our IT people, but it's that connectivity, the siren heads and the batteries. So we're slowly getting it done. So it's not like we didn't know this and the Texas thing alerted us. That we're way ahead of the game on that. But we want to make sure that everybody's safe through these systems.
Now, for now, the county is urging residents to sign up for the Winnebago County Emergency Notification System online. That's a way to receive emergency alerts. I'll have more on that coming up in the full story at 6. Mimi.
All right, thanks, Blake. And storm preparedness is important on days like today when it is pouring in parts of the state line.
So let's head right back over to Chief Meteorologist Candace King. Candace, there is rain on the radar right now.
Yeah, guys, that rain is coming down, and it's been coming down fairly heavy over the last hour or so. And within that, we also have a few severe thunderstorm warnings. The ones that were set to expire for portions of Lee and Winnebago County, those were set to expire at 5 o'clock. They have, but we've had some additional severe thunderstorm warnings that remain in effect for east central Lee County now until 5:45. So this particular storm is getting ready to just cross over that I-39 corridor. It is slowly moving to the east. So not only have we had really the biggest threat with these thunderstorms has been the large hail. There's been several reports of some large hail, not only with that storm down in Lee County, but also keeping an eye on this thunderstorm that is moving out over eastern Winnebago County. So now just to the north and northeast, the strongest of the storm just north of downtown Rockford up towards Loves Park, McChesney Park, crossing over that 3990 corridor as you zip a little bit further there up to the north. And then the same thing here in northwest Boone County. This warning runs until 5:45. So what are the biggest impacts with this? Well, we're looking at that hail potential. In fact, we've got hail just to the north here being reported. Could be some quarter-sized hail associated with that. The warning is for half-dollar-sized hail along with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The storm down to the south looks like this one has dropped some of its hail core. Earlier, it had hail up to potentially ping pong and even golf ball-sized hail. Now, there are some additional thunderstorms. We've got one over northern DeKalb County with the potential for some nickel-sized hail as that is moving to the east at 20 miles per hour, but still some additional thunderstorms here out over Iowa. These are the ones we're going to watch, guys, later for tonight, not only with a lower end risk for severe potential, but also some heavy rain. Should also mention we've got a flood advisory for about 2/3 of Winnebago County where we've got the heavy rain coming down right now. So the potential is there for some localized flash flooding here, not only with these, but also later tonight. Get a little more in detail in that in just a bit.
Candace, thank you. Tonight, officials in Ogle County are investigating a deadly skydiving collision in Rochelle last night. We brought this to you as breaking news last night at 10. The county sheriff's office responded to the Rochelle airport, where investigators say two skydivers collided midair around 7 p.m. Reserve parachutes were reportedly deployed, but one skydiver was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The other one died on the scene. According to the WGN News, the Chicagoland Skydiving Center confirmed the collision happened during an 18-person jump. The 40-year-old man killed reportedly had completed more than 2,900 successful jumps before this. The cause of the collision is unknown. The FAA is investigating alongside the Ogle County Sheriff's Office.
Freeport police arrest a man after they say they found drugs and guns inside his car. Ray Adams is charged with armed violence as well as multiple possession charges. Adams was already wanted in Winnebago County for domestic battery and theft. Adams was pulled over by a patrol officer last night near West Avenue and South Street in Freeport. Officials say a canine searched the car and found cocaine, fentanyl, and a loaded gun. Adams was booked into the Stevenson County Jail.
Rockford police arrest a suspect in a robbery of a downtown convenience store. Oscar Taylor has been charged with aggravated battery and robbery. Police responded to the Faust Market on East State last night. Authorities say Taylor had a store clerk at knife point before taking cash and running off. Officers found clothing, the knife, and cash nearby, and Taylor was caught a short time later.
An update on a 13-year-old reported missing in Beloit. This morning, police announced he has been found. The department asked for the public's assistance in locating him on Tuesday, and today they thanked community members for their help. Last week, Congress approved President Trump's federal spending bill dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill. Republican Congressman LaHood talked to Eyewitness News today about how the bill may benefit state-line residents.
Trump got elected on two issues: fixing the economy, getting the economy back on track, and then also fixing the unmitigated disaster at our southern border. And the One Big Beautiful Bill addresses both those, but particularly on the economy. Inflation is way too high, interest rates are too high. And so what do we do in the One Big Beautiful Bill? We cut taxes for working people, for small and medium-sized businesses, so they can bring home more take-home pay. The average family of four in my district will take home about $13,000 more this coming year under the One Big Beautiful Bill.
LaHood also discussed a provision he added to the spending bill, which he estimates will create 12,000 to 15,000 new Illinois housing units over the next 2 years. Democrats, meanwhile, say the bill will hurt working families.
Those looking for a job in the skilled trades were given the chance to connect with employers today. Goodwill of Northern Illinois hosted a career fair at Forest City Church. 19 state-line employers were in attendance for trade workers to meet. Job fields ranked from construction, manufacturing to engineering and more. Organizers say in this job market, having the convenience of an event like this is so valuable.
Time is precious for all of us, so to be able to come to a job fair like this, meet with multiple employers, learn about their jobs, meet with them, learn more about them, it really just takes a lot of the extra work out of it for them.
Today's job fair ran until 2:30 this afternoon.
An update on a proposed hospital in the Roscoe-Rockton area.
When we return, we'll hear about the collaboration formed to expand local access to health care.
And coming up tonight at 6, how a local company's product serves businesses across a variety of industries. We'll take an inside look at Header Die and Tool in tonight's Made in the State Line.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Beloit Health System is trying again to bring a hospital to the Roscoe-Rockton area, and this time around, it's collaborating with FHN to make it happen.
Eyewitness reporter Tyler Sorensen was at a news conference earlier today to see what all is involved. Tyler.
Yeah, Mimi, Wendell, Beloit Health System's first proposal was turned down, but it's trying to create a 10-bed micro-hospital at the North Point campus. This time, though, they have a little bit of help. Today, officials unveiled what a new hospital in Roscoe would look like. It's a new proposal for an expansion by the Beloit Health Systems and its collaborator, FHN.
Every day I look at the census reports, I see between 15 and 20% of our patients have zip codes down in this area. Having those individuals get care close to home right here in their community is going to improve their care. It's going to involve the family in the process more, having them to travel up to Beloit.
The state of Illinois denied the Beloit Health System's first request in October, citing there were already enough beds in the area. But now it's resubmitting its proposal with the help of FHN.
Something really beneficial for this community, a way to collaborate and innovate with two different health systems, maintaining their autonomy and their independence, but coming together to create something to serve a mutual need.
The proposed services would be 10 inpatient beds, along with converting their immediate care facilities into a 24/7 emergency room. But this time for the inpatient beds, FHN will allocate their services, making it so the number of beds in the area remain the same.
Of course, Freeport has the allocation of the inpatient beds, and that was important to the project and to the state, quite honestly, that we don't create additional excess beds, new beds.
If it does get approved, the new cooperation will remain separate from both FHN and the Beloit Health Systems, while also having the benefits of both.
If it's just one organization, there may not be enough demand to support different specialty services. But if it's two health systems joining together, then that demand could be increased.
Now, there is a public hearing for this project on July 15th at 2 p.m., where the public can go to show support as well as learn more about the project. Wendell.
Tyler, thank you. The rain is really coming down in parts of the area locally this evening.
And we could be in for another round of storms later tonight. When we come back, Candace has the latest in her full forecast next.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we had thunderstorms develop in quite a hurry here earlier this afternoon, prompting a few severe thunderstorm warnings, some of which are ongoing at the moment, and now just adding into that a flash flood warning for a portion of central Winnebago County and northwest Boone County. That warning will run until 9 o'clock here tonight. So this is the storm that prompted both that severe thunderstorm warning we can see for Winnebago County along with northwest Boone County, but the outline in the maroon, that's that flash flood warning for anywhere of an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain. Radar estimates between 1 to 3 inches of rain has already fallen here across portions of the warned area with an additional 1 to 2 inches. See, these thunderstorms are taking advantage of a very moisture-rich environment, which is why we're getting such not only the hail potential, but also the heavy rain potential. So the flash flood warning runs until 9 o'clock. We've got the severe thunderstorm warning out. That goes until 5:45. Now, when we look at our SkyTrack camera here over downtown Rockford, you can really see that rain coming down. So not only do we have to be mindful of that localized flash flooding threat, but visibility is going to be a big major concern, especially with those heavy downpours. Now, we're also looking at a hail potential. This kind of setting up just to the east and northeast slightly of Rockford, northwest of Cherry Valley. Could still be some quarter-sized hail. Radar estimates of around quarter-sized hail here with that particular storm, and the strongest part of that just west of that I-3990 corridor in east central Winnebago County. We dip a little bit further down to the south, still that ongoing warning for east central Lee County until 5:45. I think the strongest core of this thunderstorm is just off to the northwest here of Paw Paw. You can actually see that kind of hail core, which again may be some quarter-sized hail embedded within that as that storm is slowly moving off to the east and northeast. We look a little bit further there off to the west, and there are some additional thunderstorms that have developed out in Iowa. This is all out ahead of what is an MCV, or mesoscale convective vortex. Think of it as a little mini remnant low pressure system from thunderstorms that were to the west and northwest of us late last night and very early this morning. Oftentimes these can reinvigorate some thunderstorms, especially with the daytime heating, and that's exactly what we've had. So as we go through the night tonight, the concern is there not only with what we have coming down with that heavy rain and isolated severe threat, but additional thunderstorms later tonight. And this is where I'm really going to be paying attention to once we get a little bit further beyond sunset tonight and into very early tomorrow. It's really hard to pick out where these heavy bands of rain could set up, or these training thunderstorms where you get the storms that move over the same area until maybe they start to really develop and you start to see that pattern. But models have been somewhat consistent either across across northern Illinois or maybe even into southern Wisconsin of some additional heavy rainfall coming down. And similar to some of the thunderstorms we've had out there right now, those rainfall rates of approximately 2 inches per hour could take place. And that's why that localized flash flooding threat will continue here for tonight. So when we look at what we can expect through tonight, you've got that first round of thunderstorms moving in. We'll keep an eye on what's out to the west of us. What's to the west will kind of follow along any boundaries, I think, that get set up here from the storms that are moving through right now. It's possible that shifts a little further to the south, but it is something we're really going to keep an eye on. You can see those thunderstorms kind of trading through the night tonight and then into tomorrow. Now, some additional thunderstorms will be possible tomorrow afternoon, so there's a slight risk for some scattered severe thunderstorms Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Cold front comes in on Saturday. Again, some thunderstorms where we have to be weather aware for that as that front passes through. But we'll dry things out briefly and then warm things back up and warm our temperatures back up into early next week.
Thanks, Candace. Scott's in next with sports.
The Cubs got back on track today, and their young all-star led the way.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
Well, it took them 3 tries, but the Cubs finally figured out the Minnesota Twins this afternoon, and all-star Pete Crow Armstrong led the way. We begin, though, with Nico Horner. In the second inning, he's going to low bridge Chris Paddock right up the middle there. That drove in a run for a 1-0 Cubs lead. Now for PCA. Third inning, standing in there, and he's going to whack Paddock's pitch. He's going to watch that one fly out of the yard to dead center, just clearing the fence there. PCA's 24th homer came with a man on. Fifth inning, Dansby Swanson keeps the runs coming. He singled to drive in another, and it was 6-0 Cubs. In the seventh, PCA back for an encore. Again, cranking one out, number 25. It's his 5th multi-homer game this season. He also has 70 RBIs now. The Cubs won it 8-1. They now head to New York to face the Yankees this weekend. The White Sox will host the Guardians tonight. The Guardians were stone cold on a 10-game losing streak until they swept 3 from the Astros earlier this week. Well, the Houston Rockets have made Fred VanVleet's new contract official today, announcing it. VanVleet agreed to a 2-year, $50 million contract a couple weeks ago, but it couldn't be announced until the start of the new NBA financial year. The Rockets revealed this interesting stat on VanVleet today. Last season, he became one of only 4 players in NBA history to compile 300 assists, 90 steals, and fewer than 90 turnovers in a season. VanVleet also has led all NBA players in minutes played over the last 6 seasons. We learned yesterday the Ice Hogs season opener will be on Saturday, October the 11th at the BMO. Now we know the entire season schedule. They'll play 72 games again as usual. 60 of those will be played against their Central Division rivals. And they do have some newcomers to their schedule: the Hershey Bears, San Diego Gulls, and the Colorado Eagles. One of the highlights of the season will be when the Hogs host the AHL All-Star festivities in early February, February 10th and 11th. And the Blackhawks have announced they're going to play 6 preseason games this year, 2 each against the Red Wings, Blues, and Wild. That's sports. We'll be right back.